Let me tell you guys a story. Don't worry, it's a short one, but it's why I'm here today. 5.5 months ago, I was given a job to do. The instructions were fairly loose. I had to come up with a piece of software to market, and I had to program something bigger than I ever had before in my life. I had several months to come up with an idea, design the program, and develop a pitch for it. If I wanted to, I could team up with one or more students working on the same project, and we could combine our efforts to produce something top-notch. Seems like an easy choice, right? Seems like two people can do twice the work in half the time, so why would anyone want to work alone? The answer is, it's a coding project. Try to imagine the problem we have. Software development is the most rapidly developing industry in the world. App development, web design, software engineering, search engines, rendering, robotics, database management. All these jobs and more depend on coders working together to program something or other, and despite that, there isn't a single good way for coders to edit the same file at the same time. When I heard about this project, I flashed back to 2 years ago, back when me and three other students were grouped up to code a classic cars database together. Back then, our biggest issue was communication. The code we were working on was constantly being edited on different computers by people who were struggling to communicate and make sure everyone was looking at the same code. We ended up editing the file in Google Docs. Google Docs is a rich text editor. You use it to write speeches and books, and maybe even a spreadsheet if you're feeling lucky. It is in no way designed for writing code, and it is pretty much one of the worst ways you can go about it. But at the time, if you wanted to collaborate, that was your only option. So you can see why, when choosing between teamwork and loneliness, I chose to work alone. It was from that conundrum that I decided to create the option I wish I had. The fruit of that labor is CoDir. So what is CoDir? CoDir is a network-based coding platform that allows developers to seamlessly collaborate on projects stress-free. Now, when I say stress-free, I have a very clear and complete vision of what that means. Collaborating stress-free means that everyone can work on a project with full access to both your code and your favorite text editor side by side, without physically being side by side. You're not crammed together around a screen nagging each other, or, God forbid, sharing a keyboard. You're all working on the same code from different computers and seeing each other's progress in real time without dealing with some complicated and buggy code merging software like the kind used by Git. This is the magic of CoDir. And now that you've seen it, let me show you how simple it is. Let's get right to the meat of the project. CoDir Sublime. Now, when I set out to create a means of CoDir collaboration, I started with an editor of my own design. It was sleek, stylish, simple, and didn't have a single user. As it turns out, the brilliance of a code editor comes from its customizability and community. It's something that takes years to build up. I took a step back and realized rather than building the functionality directly into an online editor, I could patch an existing editor to integrate CoDir's collaboration algorithm. And from that idea, CoDir Sublime was born. CoDir Sublime can be installed just like and alongside any other Sublime text plugin. Once integrated, it only takes 2 clicks to connect to the server, and from there on out, you'll be able to collaborate with other users in real time. Before I start talking about algorithms, let me mention the server, because it's not something we hide behind closed doors. Your code is your property, and you shouldn't have to trust some faceless corporation to keep it safe for free, because you know there's a catch. That's why I made CoDir server. It's a free JavaScript-based applet you run from your terminal that runs on your computer and turns it into the server. All of your code will stay safe with you, and while it may sound simple, there's a lot more under the hood than meets the eye. Let me let you in on a little secret not many people know about. Node.js, the framework CoDir server is based on, is absolutely brilliant for real-time web applications. But when it comes to tracking how files are added, deleted, and moved, its built-in library is fairly limited. All I can do is tell you that something happened to this one file, but it's not sure what it is. To work around this, I created the spacetime algorithm. By monitoring how close together these events were, we were able to write a formula that groups file events based on how simultaneous they were. And from that, it determines with complete accuracy when a file has been deleted, when it has been moved, and when it has been created. The spacetime algorithm allows CoDir to synchronize file system adjustments within a project on every connected computer. This is just one of the algorithms that makes CoDir great. And while I could go on about the hours and the blood, sweat, and tears that were sacrificed to Balhaman of Hell's IT department to get CoDir up and running, I think it's time I address the competition. Yes, I have competition. I'm not the first person to come up with an idea, and I won't be the last. Fluebits, Cloud9, CodeBunk, Firepad, and Cobra.io, all these groups and more have flooded the market, but surprisingly, not one of them has a significant market share. Even with all these options, people are still using Sublime Text, Xcode, Notepad++. There are still people out there who swear by V. Let that sink in a moment. V, a code editor that began development in 1976, is still in use 40 years later. What does this tell us? It tells me that there's still, after all these years, a huge market for collaboration, but that nobody has figured out the right formula. Nobody, that is, until now. CoDir. Collaboration made easy.